Today's video, I have the 5 most overpowered weapons in Warzone right now. Quickly, I'd like to shout out Noti Gang. Don't forget to subscribe for more Warzone high kill gameplays, best class setups, Modern Warfare 2, which comes out in just a few months. A lot of exciting times ahead of us. And today's like goal is going to be 225 likes in the first 24 hours of this video being live. If we could do that, that'd be absolutely amazing. Now let's get right into our first loadout. We have the Grau. Now I did make a video on this about a week ago, but I believe this is the #1 resurgence weapon. So I think this is the best AR to use on Fortune's Keep and Rebirth Island. So here are the attachments you want to run on it. Starting off, we got monolithic suppressor. We get sound suppression and damage range, so this thing's somewhat viable at longer ranges. For the barrel, you're going to want to rock the Tempest Archangel. It's the best barrel, and it makes the weapon the most effective at any range. You get damage range and bullet velocity. You could just see by the bars, by the accuracy and range. It's going to be really good. And we also get recoil control, so we can land more shots, and the weapon's just easier to control. For my next attachment, I have on the VLK 3.0 optic. You could do this or the combat hollow sight. It's honestly just up to you what you prefer. I personally like the VLK more. It's more zoomed in. And then for the reticle, I usually throw in the T-pose, which it just makes it that much better. For my 4th attachment, I have the Commando foregrip. With this, you get recoil stabilization, aiming stability. It eliminates any type of recoil that the Grau has. And for the magazine, I have the largest one, which is the 60 round mag. You can take out multiple enemies without having to reload, and that's great. So there is the meta build for the Grau. Give it a go for yourselves. Moving on to loadout number 2. Our second loadout, we actually have the new SMG, the RA225. It took me a long time to finally get a good setup for it, and I'm glad I took my time because this is really good. So starting off with the first attachment, we have recoil booster. We get an increase in fire rate, so the weapon shoots quicker, which usually leads to a faster time to kill. And same goes for the barrel, man. We have the rapid fire barrel, man. The TTK is unbelievable when you have the double increase in fire rate with the muzzle and the barrel. For the optic, I have on the slit reflector. It's personally my favorite one for any SMG on the Vanguard side. For the stock, I actually have on the urban tack because of the aim walking movement speed. So anytime I'm in a gunfight, I'm aiming and walking, I can strafe really quick, and it makes it harder for the enemies to land shots on me. So by far the best stock. For the underbarrel, I went with the skeletal because I get an increase in movement speed. The mobility bar looks a little too low. The fire rate's even higher than it. So we're trying to work on that. And throwing on the skeletal stock leads us in the right direction. For my magazine, I had on the 55 round drum. The 38 was so good, but you just burned through ammo. So you have to do the 55 if you want to kill more than one enemy at a time. For my ammunition type, I had on hollow point. I get an increase in limb damage. It basically just makes the RA225 a lot stronger, and I love that. I'm not really using this at a range, so that's perfect. For my rear grip, I ended up going with a taped. The reason I had this on is because I get aiming stability, so my weapon's more steady because of that high fire rate. We're gonna need it. And I also get an increase in my movement speed, which is great because, like I said, the mobility is slacking and we're trying to increase it. And then for my 2 perks I had on, I actually went with tight grip because, again, the recoil, absolute mess. Throw it on and it's a game changer. It eliminates any of the recoil it has. And then perk 2, I have on quick so I can feel a lot lighter on my feet. There you have, man. There is the meta build for the RA225. I had so many trial and errors with this weapon, but I'm glad I found something I like. For loadout number 3, I have the overall long-range meta, the UGM8 LMG. If I upload this by itself, ain't nobody gonna watch it. So I gotta throw it in the top 5 here. So let me show you what you need to rock on this thing. It is filthy. You're gonna see some gameplay in the future, and I promise you're gonna think this thing needs a nerf immediately. Starting off with the first attachment, I have Mercury Silencer. I didn't do MX because I get just a slower ADS speed, and it's an LMG. It's already slow, so I don't want to deal with that. With Mercury, I get an increase in bullet velocity, and I get better horizontal recoil control. The main mission on this thing is to make it incredibly accurate. It's already strong, so you're gonna see a lot of recoil control attachments. For my barrel, I actually went with the first one. As you can see, recoil control, like I just said, more bullet velocity. That's all it gives you. That's all you're looking for. For the optic, I had on the M38. There it is. This thing is so good because you get recoil control with it, and visually, it looks like it doesn't move whatsoever. For my stock, I had on the second one. I get aim walking movement speed, so a little increase in mobility, and I get initial firing recoil. So the first few shots I fire are more accurate than the rest, which is perfect. And the first few you land are the most important because the fire rate on this is incredible. Moving on to my underbarrel, I had on the Strife Angled. I get horizontal recoil control, so just better control on the weapon. Magazine, I had on the Sakura 125. You get an increase in fire rate, faster time to kill. You burn through ammo. So the 125 is going to come in handy, and you also get recoil control as well. My ammunition type, I went with lengthened for, again, more bullet velocity. For my rear grip, I actually had on hatched recoil control. Once again, it's a beamer at this point. And then my 2 perks, surveil, more bullet velocity. And then perk 2, I had on hand because I get an increase in ADS speed. And a lot of my attachments kind of torched my ADS speed. So we got to fix that up a little bit. And there is the meta build for the UGM8. Again, if you're playing Caldera or you just want the overall just best competitive edge, this is the weapon you want to have at long ranges. Now, loadout number 4 is for the subscribers, because I've been reading my comments. A lot of y'all been asking for some Owen gun gameplay, a class setup. I'll have some gameplay in the future, but for now, let me just give you the meta setup for it, because it is really, really good after so many nerfs on other SMGs. For the first attachment, recoil booster. This thing's fire rate, it's atrocious. You got to make it a little bit faster than that so it can kill fast. For my barrel, I had on the shrouded. You get limb damage, making the weapon stronger. Less damage fall off at long range, so you're able to use this at medium ranges and it'll melt. And we also get bullet velocity. This is the best barrel. The rapid used to be, but they nerfed it. It ain't it no more. Moving on to the optic, I had on the slate reflector. Again, my favorite one for the Vanguard SMGs. My stock I had was remove stock because the mobility on this it's probably the worst mobility SMG out of all the Vanguard guns. It sucks, man. It's really, really bad. So with this, you can see my mobility bar. It gets increased quite a bit. For my underbarrel, I had on the skeletal. Again, just another increase in mobility. I get movement speed, ADS speed. My magazine size, I went with the 72 round Gorenko. I get recoil control and accuracy, so I'm able to land more shots and be more precise. And then I'll get another increase in fire rate. Again, the fire rate on this at default is the slowest out of any Vanguard SMG. It's really bad. My ammunition type I had on was hollow point. So with the barrel, I get the less damage at fall off. So I'll take that L, especially because hollow point gives me limb damage. It'll make it a lot stronger up close. My rear grip I had on was granular. With granular, I get aiming stability and aim walking steadiness. So a little bit of mobility, a little bit of control. Best of both worlds. And then my 2 perks I had on were fleet for movement speed. And then perk 2 was quick, so I feel a lot lighter on my feet. I'm able to be a little bit quicker. And nice and quick, man. The Owen is one of my personal favorite SMGs as of right now. My 5th loadout, it may not be the most overpowered weapon, but it's something that's really fun to use and satisfying to get kills with, the Bullfrog. So here is the class that if you want to use on it if you're going to try the weapon out. We got the Grau suppressor, you get sound suppression, you're off the radar. Vertical recoil control, the weapon's more accurate. The bullet velocity and effective damage range make the weapon more effective at longer ranges. For the barrel, I had a task force. Again, just more damage range, more bullet velocity. We're making this thing actually hit somewhat hard. And then we get strafe speed as well. So we're able to move side to side quicker, making it harder for the enemies to land shots on us. For my laser, I have on the Tiger Team Spotlight. I mean, just look at the mobility bar. It skyrockets. You are a movement demon with this build. For my stock, I had on the KGB Skeletal stock. Going back to mobility. Cracked out. Again, you are not going to be touched. And then my final attachment on a Bullfrog is the Serpent Wrap. The ADS speed, it ain't all that good, so we got to make it better with the Serpent Wrap. You don't need a bigger mag because at default, it's already a 50, which is more than enough. And there you have, man. It's just a movement class. It is so fun to use and very satisfying to get kills with. If you guys are looking for perk recommendations, I recommend Serpentine or Quick Fix. As much as I hate when people use Serpentine, it's mad OP. You might as well throw it on. Or you could do Quick Fix where you get health regeneration after plating or getting a kill. That's also really nice for staying alive. Perk 2, I got overkill, so I'm always able to have 2 primary weapons. If you don't really care for 2 primaries, I recommend tempered, so you only need to plate twice instead of 3 times. It just saves you more time. You can get more into action. And then perk 3, I usually run amped, but Combat Scout's been creeping up on me, man. This has been so good to use. I think this is the best perk in the game. As of right now, run Combat Scout. And then for my lethal and tactical, I got a throwing knife to finish down players. I don't gotta waste ammo on down players. I can kind of just use a throwing knife instead and then get into the next gunfight. My tactical is the stim shot, where I get a movement speed increase. I mean, this gets you out of sticky situations. You could do some nasty stuff with it. It's great. That's pretty much it, man. Let me know in the comments what weapons you'd like to see in my next top 5. Just put them down in the comments. That'd be great. Let me know what I could do to improve these vids. And yeah, I'll see you guys in tomorrow's upload. You guys all stay safe. Have a great day. And I'm out. Thank you guys for watching. Peace.